The Junior Max field is now released, green flag waves, and we get the formation underway. 11 minutes plus one additional lap to go here in this last junior final of the season, and your grid is as follows. On pole position, the champion of 2018, Mike van Voort from the Netherlands. Alongside him will be Danny van Dijk, his countryman, alongside him on the front row. James Wharton from Australia, one of four drivers in competition for two remaining golden tickets. Well, Colby Powell's admitted to me on the grid that he's going to use the one that he's already won in Belgium to do so. So James Wharton, Colin Kerzani and Mads Lies have a chance. Kerzani lines up on row 3 behind Vilgot Edquist and James Wharton, who are 4th and 3rd respectively. So Colin Kerzani, Linus Henson from Germany on row 3. Finn Gersitz and Robert De Haan row 4. Corby Pauls and Jerzy Spinkovits row 5. Mads Lies in 11th on row 6 ahead of Levent Revez. Gianni Andrisani and Roderick Picker round out the 7th row ahead of Lucas Schoenemakers. Jeffrey Fixer, Vigor Hjorvard, Vincent France, Jules Castro, Jeff Machiels, Christian de Klein, Moritz Schmeiss, Zen Rudenberg, Christian Mansell, Albin Karlsson, Max Schemmerdink, David Mitov, who celebrates his birthday today, Lukas Schervinskas, and on the back row of the grid, Lucian Svavov and Jan Pokosh, who was excluded after the first final. So 11 minutes plus one additional lap to go for the Junior Max contingent in 2018. And ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves, hold on to your hats, because we're going to have one fantastic final here with the Junior Max starting the last stretch of the 2018 racing season. The anticipation is building. The drivers now getting into the side-by-side 2x2 formation as they come round turn 12. So for those watching on the live stream at home, wherever you are in the world, thank you for tuning in. Field being asked to slow down. They are now tightly packed in formation. We now get the final stage of the rolling start procedure underway. The Rotax revs rise and the race director signals the go sign. And, well, there we go. It's side-by-side between Van Voort and Van Dijk going into turn 3. It's 2-3 abreast a little bit further down the back part of the order. And there's contact in around about sort of the mid part, the lower part of the top 10. Some drivers getting swamped. Colby Pauls has made up a couple of places already, but it is Van Voort leading from Van Dijk. Looks like Vilgot Edquist is currently in 3rd position. In 4th is James Wharton. And just keeping an eye, it's Colin Kerzani behind the Aussie. Then you've also got the 321 of Robert De Haan as well. So 10 minutes, 20 seconds plus an additional lap. And the driver that actually has been thrown out unceremoniously a little bit there at the back part of the order is the 349 of Lucian Svavov. As there's too wide in terms of going through the last couple of... so it looks like there might be a penalty being issued very early in this race as Mike van Voort continues to show that he is the class of the 2018 Junior Max contingent. He leads from Danny van Dijk by about nearly 0.3 of a second. Vilgot Edquist is in 3rd place in the 331, followed by James Wharton from Australia. And I'm just looking where Mads Lies is at the moment. He's actually been swamped a little bit. He ended up losing out on that first approach into turn 4. So the Dane already in now what is 17th position. That puts him out of the points. Colby Pauls at the moment currently in 9th. James Wharton still in 4th position at the moment, with Colin Kerzani in close proximity in 5th place. And at the way things stands at the moment, Mads Lies has got to make up at least 3 points at the very least to get up the order. But look at how close James Wharton is on the back of Vilgot Edquist for 3rd position. As we got our first 3-second penalty, that is the 3:10 of Moritz Schmeiss from Germany. So the German youngster already on the back foot. So that puts him from 22nd probably towards 29th on the field. by my estimation, as the leaders come through to start another lap here. And the fastest driver on track is James Wharton at the moment, and he's gone sub 51. He is really putting the hammer down as the young Australian, and he's trying to go past Edquist, and he goes side by side and takes the position cleanly off of Vilgot Edquist, and he's just signalled, I think, briefly to say, "Come on, Vilgot, come with me. Let's get towards the two in the front." So that now puts James Wharton on 16 points. Oh, and we've got one spinning off big time there. So yellow flags were waved ever so briefly, trying to find out who that is. So drivers a little bit further down the order, 348, which is Mitov. I think I saw the 357 maybe with Jeff Machiels, also a little bit further back down the order. 7.5 minutes to go. Wharton is challenging Van Dijk right now, going through turn 3, heading down towards turn 4, and Van Dijk sends it up the inside of Van Voort. Wharton tries to go with, but now Vilgot Edquist is swarming over his back bumper for that coveted third place. As Corby Piles goes right up the inside of Linus Henson now for 8th position. That's really good work from the youngster from Belgium, who I spoke to on the grid a bit earlier on. So he's looking to have a bit of fun out there. He's come close to the FIA CIK Academy Trophy this season, and he's trying to make some moves up the order. So that puts the Belgian now up into 8th position. So that's 8 points for Corby Piles, puts him on 91 points. So, leaders coming through around the final couple of corners, and James Wharton now is in 2nd position. The Aussie is quite clearly flying, and he's just done a 50.7 flat. He's gone for the lead, and he's gone up the inside of Danny Van Dijk, carried the momentum through ever so cleanly there. So this has really shown that James Wharton is gunning for that trophy, going for that trophy on the podium in the championship standings, as Mike Van Voort gets past Danny Van Dijk for 2nd position. So it looks like it's going to be causing a collision penalty issued very, very shortly here by the by Race Control, as they have multiple high-definition cameras keeping an eye on all the action around here at Wackersdorf. But Wharton hits the front, leading by a few kart lengths ahead of Mike Van Voort, this year's champion. Spoke with the pair of them on the grid, and James was looking forward to getting in front of everybody else, and he's proved that in spades, as we have 5 minutes 50 seconds plus 1 lap, and he's extended the gap between himself and Van Voort to 0.38 of a second, as Van Dijk is looking incredibly racy behind his fellow countryman in the form of Mike Van Voort. So that's really good to see. And a little bit further down the order, just keeping an eye on who is there. Well, Robert De Haan has pretty much come out of nowhere, I believe. Well, he was 8th. He's now up into 4th position ahead of Jerzy Schwinkiewicz. Vilgot Edquist in the meantime is 6th and is just ahead of the number 347 of Colin Kerzani, who's now in 7th place. So the order is changing as and when we go. So leaders now coming into turn 4. Wharton leads, Van Voort 2nd. Van Dijk in 3rd. De Haan now 4th. So it makes it a Dutch 2, 3, 4 currently, with Jerzy Schwinkiewicz a little bit further back. Vilgot Edquist in 6th. Colin Kerzani in 7th. Corby Powles is trying to close up to the those in front. He's about 0.7 of a second. So let's just see how things go through as we head towards the last 4.5 minutes, as Van Voort looked for an opening there, but Robert De Haan has pounced and has got past this year's champion for 3rd place. So Van Voort slots in neatly behind, as we've got just over 4 minutes in this Junior Max final, and it's going to be trading blows once again as Van Voort gets past once again. Oh, yellow flags up by turn 4. There's one stricken on the outside. And that's very, very close indeed. The driver stumbles out of the kart, trying to get away from the racing line, and also making sure he doesn't get injured in the process. So, and that looks like that's Danny Van Dijk. I think that might be Danny Van Dijk that's come a cropper there and people cheering, providing some support, and Van Dijk is the one. Well, hang on, yeah, Van Voort has dropped down the order to 14th position, which gives him 2 points. And in the meantime, Van Dijk is the one that was stricken on the outside of turn 4, so the pair must have come to blows there. So this has promoted a lot of other people. Robert De Haan now up into second. Jerzy Spinkovits in third. Colin Kerzani now up into 4th position, which gives the Dutchman 13 points. Vilgot Edquist in 5th. Corby Powell's now in 6th place. Linus Hensen in 7th. Finn Gerzitz rounds out the top 8 with a German 7-8. There's a 7th and 8th position. Rivets and Vincent France complete the top 10. Schoenemacher Ries now is in the points. Ries now up into 12th position. So it's getting incredibly close for that final golden ticket. 3 points separates Mads Ries, Corby Powell and Colin Kerzani, with Mads Ries on 92, Corby Powell on 93 and Colin Kerzani on 94. So it's going to be incredibly close, but Kerzani better watch out because Corby Powell sends it right up the inside, very close indeed on the Dutchman, and switches position. So that means that Corby Powell is really doing a great job there. So I'll keep an eye on what's happening. So that means that Colin Kerzani now is down in 6th position. And Corby Powell now takes the initial lead coming into that, but that was a really great show of overtaking in some way, shape or form, however close it was. But watch out for the battle for second place, and that's between Robert De Haan and Jerzy Spinkovits, as there's more changes. Looks like Finn Gerzitz has just got past Linus Hensen for position. That's for 7th on the road. So 1 minute 18 plus an additional lap here to go in Wackersdorf for the Junior Max last final of the 2018 racing season. James Wharton is absolutely going into another district here in southern Germany with the way he's driving right now. His gap between him and Robert De Haan was 1.989 seconds, and this week and this month, James Wharton actually holds the indoor record here at Pro Kart Raceland. We found that out last night whilst having a bit of end of season fun to get out the to get rid of the cobwebs here. But James Wharton now has a 2-second advantage with 43 seconds on the clock to go. Robert De Haan in second place. Jerzy Spinkovits in third. Vilgot Edquist 4th. Corby Powell's up into 5th place ahead of Colin Kerzani, Linus Hensen and Finn Gerzitz. So Hensen has retaken the 7th place position from his countryman. So 21 seconds on the clock remaining, plus an additional lap. James Wharton just getting his head down, looking at the business at hand. And I tell you what, it's been an absolutely great display from the Aussie this weekend. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more lap to go for James Wharton from Australia to finish his season on a high. And his gap now is 2.18 seconds, but the fastest lap of the race is going to Mike Van Voort, who has now got up into 10th position. So just a handful of corners to go, and it's going to be quite interesting what happens a little bit further down the order as there is overtaking and jostling for position. Mads Ries in 13th place now. But when it was all said and done, the winner of your second Junior Max final of the day, and also the last one of the season, he's going to bow out in style, and he's going to become our vice champion for 2018. Round the final couple of corners comes Australia's James Wharton from Shamik Motorsport to take the checkered flag and win final number 2, and he's automatically qualified for the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals in Brazil in just a couple of weeks' time. Robert De Haan from the Netherlands ends his season in the best way possible, with second place ahead of Jerzy Spinkovits. Vilgot Edquist and Corby Powell's round out the top 5. But what a race we had. Drama with the championship winner this season, Mike Van Voort, eventually finishing in 7th position. So let's run you through the finishing order for Junior Max final number 2, the last time we will see these youngsters competing in 2018. winning final number 2 for Junior Max. It's the 3:13 of Shamik Motorsports. James Wharton by 2.282 seconds from Robert De Haan. Jerzy Spinkowitz rounds out the top 3, a further half second adrift, win the 3:25. Vilgot Edquist from Dan Holland Racing takes 4th ahead of FIA Academy Trophy vice champion Gobbe Pauls. Linus Henson takes 6th ahead of Mike van Voort, this year's champion from the Netherlands. Finn Gerzitz, Colin Kerzani and Vincent France rounds out the top 10 with Levent Revets, Mads Ries, Lucas Schoenemakers, Jules Castro, Jeffrey Fixer, Christian Mansell, Lucas Scherbinskas, Vigor Hjorvad, Christian de Klein, Max Stemmerdink, Gianni Andrisani, Moritz Schmeiss, Jan Pokosch, Roderick Picker, Jeff Machiels, Albin Carlson, Moritz Schmeiss, David Mitov, Zen Rudenberg, Roderick Picker, Danny Van Dyke and Lucian Svabov. And we'll confirm that James Wharton will also be going with Mike van Voort to Brazil a little bit later on this year, but we'll be back in just a couple of moments, reference our grid walk for the Senior Max final number 2, the last one of the year.